What's going on, guys? Welcome to Garage 23. And in this episode, we're going to be picking up where we left off and continuing with the S14 side project. That was a spin-off of our main S14 project. So last week, we started taking it apart and we removed pretty much the whole trunk area out of it because we needed this to try and repair our S14. And it went pretty well. We learned a lot, got everything off cleanly, got the tail panel off, got the floor pan off, and also managed to get the frame rails off in one piece, or two pieces. So that's pretty much all we need out of it. So now all that's left is to get rid of the evidence. So we're gonna be parting it out and see if we can make our money back. So let's go. Okay, so first thing we did was let people know that we're parting this thing out. So I placed ads in like OfferUp, Craigslist, Facebook. If you can find a group for your particular car, that's even better. So like I posted this in the local 240SX group. eBay's another good place. You can probably get more money on eBay, but there's also fees involved and shipping. So it's kind of more of a pain in the ass, but you can go that route if that's what you want to do. We just need to start taking it apart just to get rid of the car. So we're probably just gonna end up cutting the whole thing apart. And to do that, we need to get rid of the glass primarily. To do that, we picked up this little, just basic glass removal set from Harbor Freight. It's got this little hand pull blade knife thingy, this pokey thing, some wire, and some handles for the wire. So pretty basic stuff, but should have worked for at least 1 or 2 times. So let's try and get the front windshield off. All right, so I just got a regular razor blade and cut off all the excess glue stuff just so we have somewhere to start this knife at. So I'm gonna try and wedge it under the glue. And with these, you always want to try and lean like downward so that you're not like cutting against the glass. Because if your blade is too close to the glass, you could potentially cut into the glass and crack it, or put too much pressure on it and crack it. So you always want to try and keep the blade along the frame of the car so you minimize the risk of damaging the glass. Okay, that knife thing's a pain in the ass. So I'm gonna try to switch to the wire stuff. So since we already have it separated at the bottom, I just fed a little piece of this wire through, and we're gonna cut it off. And then it goes through this handle. And then gets wedged in place like that. And then same thing with the other side. Okay, now we can use this to kind of cut our way around. Yeah, thanks Harbor Freight. So the wire snapped. It did get us a little further though. Yeah, it's an expensive mistake. So like I said, try and keep the blade away from the glass. There's like a spot that was like stuck again, so I like forced it through, and when I did that, it like pitched up a little bit and got too close to the glass and just, yep, 150 bucks right there. Oh well. Yeah, so I've come to the conclusion that this knife thing's pretty garbage. I think I'm gonna stick to using the little wire thing, even though it keeps snapping. If you keep replacing the wire, I think it's safer than continuing with that thing. Because I don't know, maybe on a newer car it'll be all right, but this car's so old that the urethane is just so tough that that thing's not really cutting through it. Then when you keep like forcing it, it doesn't cut it and it creates too much tension in that little spot and then like cracks the windshield, so it's garbage for this anyway. And down here at the bottom, it seems like I'm cutting through more rust than glue, so. So yeah, just in case anyone was wondering if this thing could be saved, there's more rust holding that windshield in than metal. All right, round 2. Hopefully this comes out in one piece. Well, I mean, that one came out in one piece too, but you know what I mean. So no knife thingy on this one. All right, so this one, we're just gonna push the wire through with this thing. All right, we cut off the little rubber trim all the way around and got the wire pushed through, and I guess now just rinse and repeat for a while without breaking the freaking window. Gonna be here a while. Okay, wire works a lot safer. Just takes way longer. So yeah, if you guys need to like actually save the glass that you're taking off, I'd recommend the wire thing. Do not use the knife thing unless the glass is already cracked. And then that thing's faster, but you run more risk of damaging the glass. So good lesson learned. Wish it hadn't cost us 150 bucks. Oh well. All right, now we need to take off the quarter window, but before we can try to take it off, we need to get rid of the window gasket around the door frame and the drip rail. So first thing we need to do is get these little clips that hold the end of the drip rail off. There's 3 on this side and I think 1 or 2 on that side. And just peel it off. And for the drip rail, there's a bunch of little Phillips screws holding it on the inside. And then there's another rail with even rustier screws. Nope. Okay. Yeah. Now for the scary part again. All right, success. Got it out in one piece. Even saved all the clips. Where'd that come from? I peed. Gross. Okay. So anyway, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Whatever, at least we saved the more rare glass. The front windshield wasn't even original. It was just like an aftermarket replacement. Obviously, front windshields are more common to be replaced, and that one was replaced at some point. So sucks that it was perfectly nice and no rock chips or cracks or anything, but we had to learn somehow, so. All right, now next thing we gotta get off is the subframe, which a little annoyed about because I already had it off this morning, but some guy wanted to buy the whole car, so I put it back on, and then he bailed, so I put it back on, and now we gotta take it off again. Okay, so my plan is lift up the car from the subframe, put the frame rails on the jack stands, loosen all the subframe bolts, and then the subframe should come down. Should work. There we go. So yeah, that's how you get a subframe out. Twice. All right, so if you guys recall, we picked the whole car up for 400 bucks, and we'll even add in what we spent to get it here so far. So we spent $70 on renting the U-Haul and going to pick it up. And then to take it apart, we spent $60 on the drill bits, the spot weld drill bits to take it apart. So that's basically what we need to make up. And as of the time of recording, we've sold the subframe for $300 because it turned out to be damaged. The front diff mount bolts were stripped. So we could have got $400 or $500 for that, but because it was damaged, we only managed to get $300 for that. Still not bad. We sold the passenger side quarter glass for $80. We sold the gas tank. The gas tank we could have sold for at least $400, but a good friend of mine was interested in it. So we gave him the homie hookup discount of $250. So what else? Oh, on the rear diff, we sold for $80 because it turned out to be an S13 diff with an S14 rear cover, and it was welded. The welds were pretty crap too, so I made the disclaimer to whoever bought it that it should probably be cleaned up and plated and welded better because there's some boogers in there. But I mean, it wasn't broken, it held up, so I guess it was fine. But $80 for that. So we're definitely out of the negative and we made some money so far. There's still stuff that we could sell. Like as of right now, I have a couple of buyers lined up for the window drip rails, I guess, the trim around the driver and passenger doors, windows. The trunk springs, somebody else wanted those. The drip rails I was selling for $100 together because the passenger side's got a few dents. And the trunk springs I was selling for $40, so that's another $120 there potentially. There's obviously still like a lot of sheet metal, but that's kind of iffy too because I don't know if you guys noticed, it's kind of pushing through in a lot of places. So we could potentially still make money just actually taking it to like a metal scrap place, but I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be worth it because then we'd need to probably rent another trailer and that'd be another expense. And with the cost of metal scrap right now, I'm not sure that'd be worth it for us. Yeah, as of right now, we did pretty good. We got all the panels we needed, basically paid for themselves, and then some. We made a little money. And yeah, I think we'll call this one a win, despite having broken the stupid front windshield. Or we could have made another 150, but that was just a learning experience, I guess. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this time. See you guys next time.